Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Amy if you're brand new here, and today I have another Q&A for you. I haven't done one in a while, so I think it is a good time to catch up and to answer a bunch of your questions. The first question is by Chris Mermaid. Hi Amy, can you please compare between the Valentino and the Chanel Rectangle Mini? I just recently featured them in my Battle of Mini Bags collection video, so I'll also link it up here and down below. So between these two bags, I did mention that they are very comparable in terms of even just the shape and the sizing and how much I love both of them. It's probably not everyone's cup of tea, but I do think that if you're a bag lover and you just appreciate variety and all that, I do think that it's a really nice contender, or it's just really nice to have in your collection as well, in addition to, of course, your classics. But of course, if you were to choose between the two and you just want to know which one I recommend, I still would recommend the classic Chanel flap, obviously the mini flap, because you really cannot go wrong with any Chanel flaps, to be very honest. They will always be recognizable, they will always sort of keep their value as long as you keep it in good condition, and you will always feel that sense of the heart singing and just like how much love the item brings to you. It's just a timeless piece, right? There's no arguing about that. So in my opinion, this bag is really awesome. I really love the features on it. I really enjoy carrying it, and I really do think that it's underrated, and also something different if you're bored of your collection, or if you already have a bunch of different mini bags or different flat bags and you just want something slightly different to spice up your outfits. I really think that this is an amazing buy. An amazing little bag, high quality, super well made, and just actually it has been really durable so far. This is lambskin and I haven't had any issues with it. Obviously I don't throw it around or anything like that, and because it is a smaller bag, I do find that small bags are just relatively easier to take care of. But again, I do think that this little strap here is the main selling point for me, aside from, you know, how unique it is. The second question is by Gwen Report. Do you still like your world tour Neverfull? I'm thinking about getting one, but wonder if I'll get tired of the stickers. So I have mine over here, and I got mine last year, and I obviously chose all the stickers myself. I think they do add more newer stickers every year. I don't know how many they would have, but I do think that they have different ones now too. So I love the combination that I have it in. I don't really think that I will ever get tired of this bag because it is very special. It is unique. It is the only one that exists in the world, unless someone like did exactly the same as mine, which is fine too. But you know, I did think about getting it for a while before I made the purchase, and also every little stickers that I put on the bag is very significant. Like all the stickers are representative of a trip that I went to or an event that happened in my life. Also, with all the news and all the rumors about LV changing directions and limiting the amount of canvas bags around, I think that this piece is going to be even more awesome because, you know, it's going to be even harder to get in Neverfull nowadays. Having said that, I also really love my Neverfull in the vachetta and monogram, because that one is just plain, and sometimes you do want a plain bag. So I think I know where you're coming from in terms of getting tired of stickers. I think you're just probably, it's almost similar to I guess carrying monogram, like when there's too much logos or too much monogramming, or just I guess the same stickers all the time. I guess I see where you're coming from, but I think from the perspective of I chose the stickers, and I chose those stickers because they mean something to me. From that point of view, I don't think I'll ever get tired of it. I truly believe that it is a special bag when you customize it, and as long as, you know, when you're doing the customization and you're really feeling it and you're really anticipating the bag coming your way, I think that you will love it, and I do recommend it. I really do like the fact that you can customize your bag for extra costs, but I think it's worth it. So hopefully that was helpful. The next question is by Angela. She says, oh my gosh, your nails are so gorgeous. A nail routine, please. I'm not sure which video she saw me in, but I think in a lot of my videos, if I don't have really long nails, then I just trim them. So I think this is kind of halfway there. This is my nails trimmed relatively recently, but not just very recently. So this was trimmed a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago. Honestly, the secret is there's no secret. I seriously cannot even do a video about a nail routine because I don't have one. And the thing is, I honestly don't do anything. I just let them grow. I don't touch them. Sometimes I actually might even damage them by cooking and whatever, and in that case I just clip them. So I just trim them basically, but that's all I do. And the thing is, I've always had good nails all my life. I remember being in elementary school, probably, or maybe high school, and some girls would just come over and ask me, how do you do your nails? And I'm like, I don't do anything to them. I literally just let them grow, and they just grow naturally. So I'm sorry if that was not helpful, because I'm sure that was not helpful, but to be very honest, I think it has to do with genetics and also a lot to do with diet as well. Probably in my diet I get enough of the collagen and all the vitamins that help grow nails. I guess maybe look at diet or maybe supplements. There are supplements out there now that actually gives you extra nutrients for growing nails and hair. I'm sure they even sell it at Costco. I've seen them. It comes in like a gummy candy, and it's like a whole container for like 15-20 bucks. So check those out. I honestly really don't do anything to mine. I'm just lucky that way, but hopefully you know, at least you can look into maybe supplementing yourself. The next question is by Iram Bilal. Hi Amy, I love all your bags, they're beautiful. Would you be able to tell me how the leather has worn on the corners of the Valentino spike bag? I want to purchase one, but I'm worried that the leather on the shoes don't wear well, so I was wondering how the bag would hold up as well. For me, it has worn super well. It's not an everyday bag, obviously. It's more of special occasion, and also just on days that I just feel like it, I suppose. So for me, it has worn super well. When I first bought it, I did say in my unboxing video that there were some creases, and they are indeed still there. So there are some of the natural sort of the leather grains creases around here, and they're still there, but they have not gotten worse. So that's a really good sign. It means that it's just part of the leather. In terms of the corners, they're actually like, I don't know if you see it on the camera. If you look at the edges and the corners, it's actually all glazed, and it's really well finished. So I don't really see it wearing that badly unless you throw it around, which I don't do. I don't really throw around my bags. I never put it on the floor or anything. So if you do that, then it will wear super well. This leather, even though it is a lambskin, it is my only lambskin bag. It has really outperformed really well. So I can't say enough good things about this bag. Obviously, if you're gonna buy it as an everyday bag, then in that case I'm not too sure how it's gonna wear for you. But I think compared to shoes, even if it were compared to the Valentino shoes, I think this will still fare a lot better, because with shoes, I mean, it touches the ground. The shoe, like your own feet might rub against each other, and shoes are just so much easier to damage, to be very honest. Whereas bags, you can protect it to a certain level or baby it to a certain level. So I hope this makes sense, and I really do recommend this bag. I really do love it. The next question by Pink Girl 3533. How has your Gucci velvet bag held up? Is it a high maintenance bag? I think we're getting all questions about mini bags because of that recent video, but I hope you guys like this format of me answering just basically all your questions that I come across from your comments. I do pick and choose the questions, obviously. Sometimes I feel like if they're, you know, interesting to everybody, then of course I'll come on the video and talk about them. But yeah, maybe you guys should let me know whether you like me doing this kind of Q&A, or do you prefer, because I know some people, they just announce that they wanted to do a Q&A and then you guys can sort of just let that person know the questions, so I can do that too. But I just find that for me, this is a good way to in general address a pretty interesting and relevant question, and also to sort of, I guess, keep in touch, I suppose. So anyway, going back to this bag, so this is the Velvet Gucci Marmont. Honestly, I guess I don't really buy bags that are high maintenance. That is the thing. And I don't particularly feel that this is a high maintenance bag. Sure enough, it is velvet, so I think you still need to use common sense in a sense that, you know, if you say leave your chain like this and then put pressure on for days, yeah, it will leave a mark. I have no doubt about it. From the perspective of wearing it, I find that it's been fine too. I don't particularly feel like I have to baby it too much either. It's very similar to the Valentino bag. Obviously the Valentino bag, to me, I think when I think of lambskin, I think of more delicateness, so I actually do baby it a little bit more. But with this one, I actually don't even. And it's completely fine. Like when you sit it down when in storage, you know, make sure that your dust bag is straight across the bottom as well, so it doesn't give those extra creases. If your only worry is that the bag is truly too delicate and all that, then it's not. Be reassured that it's definitely not. And of course, use common sense and proper storage, then it will last a long time, and I don't think you'll have to ever worry about it not wearing well. The next question is by Oksana LV. Hi Amy, I need your advice on the Gucci belt. I have the classic black GG belt. I am looking to add one more. I am torn between the black snake or the pearl GG. I know that you have the pearl one. Please let me know your feedback. Personally, I am really biased towards this one. I feel like the snake is really pretty too, except that it is still just gold tone. So I feel like because you already have a gold tone, even though it's plain GG, I feel like this one would stand out a little bit more and be more different than the snake one, just because they're the exact same color. But that's personally, you know, how I feel, because I don't know why. I feel like if I already have a plain one, I would probably not add another same color even though it has a pattern on it. That's just how I feel. And also, if you guys remember, I actually did have also the plain GG one with the brown leather, and I recently sold that one. And at first I thought I was gonna miss it, because sometimes certain outfits looks better when it's just plain. You just want plain accessories and you don't want all those, you know, bells and whistles. But I haven't actually missed it that much or at all after I sold it. I think it was just the fact that I knew it was leaving my collection that I was feeling that feeling. But after it has left, I'm actually really happy that I just kept this one. I just feel like whenever I want to add something to my outfit or just complete my outfit, that I would rather go with something va va voom. So I personally recommend this one, but that's just me. I know that everyone's different, but I just feel like this one is so pretty, and even though it's black and gold and the pearls, it actually goes really well with a light color shirt as well because of the pearls. The pearls are, you know, kind of whitish color, so I think it's extra versatile as well. So I hope this was helpful. Obviously I am super biased because I love this belt. Elsa B, hi Amy, I cannot find your second channel about organic food and sustainable clothing. Can you tell me what the username is, or where is the channel now? So I've always had this channel. This is the first channel that I've ever created, called Fashionably Amy, and at one point, you know, in between the life of this channel, I created a second channel called Fashionably Amy's Vlog, or Fashionably Amy Vlog, I think. And I recently closed it, so I completely deleted it. And it's funny because I thought no one was watching it because it wasn't really it just didn't look like I was getting any subscribers and whatnot. I mean, there was you know, the ones that were there, but I just felt like it wasn't really moving, and also I felt like it was very difficult for me to manage 2 different channels. And the main purpose when I created that second channel was to just post any type of vlogs, like all the vlogs. But I feel like I haven't really been able to vlog as much anyway. Initially, vlogs were videos that I made for my families to watch because I do live very far apart from all my family members. So that was one of the reasons why I created that. That was one of the reasons why I create vlogs. I just felt like it didn't really make a difference in terms of whether I post the vlogs here or there, and so I decided to delete that channel. And the funny thing is that ever since I deleted that channel, I actually have people asking me, where are your videos from that channel? Like, I can't find them anymore. So I'm so sorry that this happened and that you can no longer find the videos that you were trying to watch. However, I did keep a list of pretty much most of the videos that I had on that channel, such as, you know, some of my cooking videos, the really old cooking videos that honestly the quality was so bad, but apparently some of you do watch them. So there were the cooking videos, there were some of the health related videos that I talk about, you know, organic food and just like clean living and clean eating and stuff like that, as well as certain vlogs. So I did keep playlists of those. They're still live, and I recently appended them at the end of my homepage. So if you go on my channel homepage, go to all the way to the bottom, you'll see that I actually have a couple of the playlists from, I guess, you know, that was placed in the other channel. So they still do exist. It's just now you just have to go to the bottom of my current homepage to find them. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope that the videos that you were looking to watch again are there. Some things might not be there, like a few of the vlogs are not there, but most of them are there. So the next question is by Davine Marcello. I'm curious, are you getting much use out of your black Valentino Rockstud flats? I'm considering getting them. I'm usually all about comfortable shoes such as Clarks and anything with cushioning. I have been asked quite a few times actually by people who still think that I do have the Valentino flats, and I guess I never really... No, I actually did tell people, but mostly in the videos of where I talk about things that I sold that year, so maybe you guys missed that. So I no longer have those shoes, the Valentino flats, the Spike or the Rockstud flats. I bought them, but I never wore them because, I mean, I wore them in the house to try them, but I just was too afraid to wear them out because I felt like there was some pinching at the toe area, like the toe box area. Just, you know, if I feel a little bit, if I start walking outside, I feel like it will get worse. So I just totally let them go. They were brand new still. I just felt like it was probably not a good idea for me to buy designer shoes. I mean, I kind of came to that conclusion after the fact, and also every time I try buying designer shoes, it also has to do with the price tag. I mean, whether I buy regular shoes or designer shoes, they all touch the ground, but at least I feel like if I can't fit a pair of non-designer shoes, at least I didn't waste as much money, right? If in the end they do end up hurting me and I can't wear them anymore, at least I didn't just pour $1,000 in them. So I guess I've kind of accepted the fact that I might not be able to buy designer shoes ever, or at least not every designer shoe will be able to fit me, and I guess that's okay. And so that is exactly what happened with those Valentino flats, and that's why I don't really have any feedback for you whether they're still comfortable or not, because I never really wore them out. The next few questions are from Instagram. I get a lot of DMs, I'm sure you guys can imagine, and it's very hard for me to go through them nowadays because I get so many of them. And then of course some of them are legitimate people asking a real question and trying to get answers, or trying to just get pointers. So I try my best to filter them, but there's also a bunch of them that are just totally nonsense. And it's very hard for me to like always look at DMs. So anyway, I saw a few of them, so I decided to answer these as well on this video. But just to let you guys know, if you DM me on Instagram, it's not always the best way to reach me. I think the best way to ask questions is on YouTube, because for me, I feel like YouTube, even though I might not be able to answer right away, it's still a place where I keep track of comments and stuff like that. So for me, it's actually easier on YouTube. But Genia de Rosario had a question about the Fendi Mon Tresor bucket bag. She wants to know whether it's a seasonal trend, whether it will still be trendy next year. This is the bag in question. This is the little Fendi Mon Tresor bucket bag. It comes in so many variations now. This is just the one with the FF logos, and there's plain ones, there's the ones with there's like the ones with fur, and you know, so many different variations. They're really cute, and I did actually feature this one in one of my best purchases of 2018 video. So obviously my personal opinion of this bag is that yes, go for it, it's amazing. But again, I know everyone's different. So in terms of whether this is a trend, I totally think that it is a trend, in a sense that, especially with the FF logo, if this is exactly the one that you're considering or a similar one, that the FF logo is definitely very trendy. It's definitely very in right now. It's probably still really going to be trendy next year. I don't know about, you know, 5 years down the road. But I do know that styles or trends recycle as well, so it might not be trendy in 5 years, but it might come back on the 6th year or that type of thing. So in my eyes, I'm totally okay with that. I do believe it is still a trendy thing to have, you know, all these monogramming on bags, especially because Fendi, I mean, this print is just very retro and everything, so I do think that it's trendy, but I'm totally okay with it because it's a very mini bag. And even if the trend goes, I'll still love it. Aside from the trend, this bag itself, like the bucket size and also this size, and just how it carries and how much it carries and all that, just very works really well for me and with me. So I feel like because of that reason, I'm totally okay with that. And trend or not trendy, I would still like it. But I guess my advice is, if you're too worried about the print being trendy, maybe you consider the plain one. And as long as you like the bucket bag style, which this is, it's just a mini size. As long as you love it, then I think you'll be safe. You know, it'll still be relatively classic in terms of the style itself, and because of the plain leather, I think that, you know, it will still be relevant in the years to come and that you will still love it. But if you don't love bucket bags in general and you're just liking it now only because everyone's carrying it or because it looks really cool now, then maybe don't consider it. That's what I would say. D2 Me 15, which one should I buy? The Palm Springs Mini World Tour or the Neo Noe in the Noir? Which one is better? I currently have the Neverfull in monogram, the Speedy B25 in monogram, and Damier Eben, the Pochette Métis in a monogram, and the Alma BB, and finally the Gucci Soho in black. From the list of bags that you told me you have, I feel like you have quite a nice few that are larger size or even medium size. So I consider all the, you know, the Neverfull and the Speedy B25, and even to a certain extent the Pochette Métis, to me is kind of not like large, but like kind of medium-ish range, whereas the Alma BB is the smallest one, and then the Gucci Soho is actually also kind of, I guess, medium small. So it sounds to me like you have quite a few larger bags already that you can rotate with. And my choice, if it were up to me, is I would actually pick the Palm Springs Mini World Tour, since you mentioned World Tour. But whether it's this one, the regular one, or the World Tour one, or whichever print one, I would actually choose the Palm Springs Mini over the Neo Noe. I do think that the Neo Noir is really nice. I've actually tried it myself and I actually almost wanted to buy it. Actually I still want to buy it, but I didn't. I try to restrict myself because I'm like, 2 Neverfulls is enough big bags enough for me. You know, I don't really need any more big bags, to be very honest. So I really try to restrict myself, and I feel like, I don't know, I'm kind of biased towards the Palm Springs Mini anyway. Again, I mentioned this bag as well in my recent video. It's one of my best bags. It's one of my best buys as well. It's just not from this year because I bought it a couple years ago. So it is one of my best buys. It is one of my best bags. It is my travel bag. It is my everyday errand bag. The Neo Noir is amazing. If you want another big bag, please go ahead and get that one. But if you want something small-ish to add to your collection, since you don't have that many small bags, the Alma BB is kind of dressier, so this one can be very casual as well. I feel like this is adds a little bit more variety to your collection. That's what I would say about it. And also, like, I don't know, this bag is still really hard to get, and if you can still get your hands on it, or if you happen to be able to get your hands on it, then I think it's amazing to get it. Especially, well, actually you can probably get it anyway because you want to get the World Tour one, so you're fine. So I totally recommend this one, but again, I am biased. I saved this question last because I feel like there's a lot to discuss about it. I can definitely give you personal, not personal advice, but like from my personal experience, you know, I guess how I would handle it and stuff and things like that. But I am in no way a professional in a sense that I am no way, you know, I don't think that my opinion or my experience is the only answer as far as it goes. So I want to discuss this question because I think it's a nice question. This person asked, I hope you can do a video on career advice, choosing the right career path, how to deal with difficult boss and coworkers, how to stop bullying at work, and how to know when to quit a job. If you guys don't know already from watching my maybe some of the videos where I talked about a little bit about me, I graduated from a computer science degree, a bachelor's in computer science. I also did some graduate courses in leadership management, so I guess that's my background in terms of education. In terms of employment, just to give context, it's a pretty long list, so I'll just give it for context value and just to give you an idea of my experience. I suppose I think, or I consider myself to have started working since I was really young. I don't remember exactly when, but I think I was maybe like 12 or something like that. I just wanted any job. Basically, I just wanted to earn money because financially it was very difficult for my parents, and we had very little means to sometimes even have food on the table and stuff like that. It was just very, very difficult, and so I knew from a very young age that I wanted to start earning money early, and I knew that my goal in life in the future is to be able to afford the things that I want and the life that I want, the lifestyle I wanted. Like, I had those visions even when I was younger, so I just wanted any job. I just wanted to be able to work as early as I could, and I think the earliest I was able to work was 12, and that wasn't any glamorous job. I didn't earn very much. I just the first job I had was to pick strawberries. I think that was the first job, and those were only a summer job. Obviously you can only do it in the summer, so every day would we wake up at 6 or something like that and walk all the way to wherever they would pick you up in the orange buses or yellow school buses, drive a few hours to the suburbs, like the farms. You're supposed to fill those containers. They're like relatively large containers, and you're supposed to like not just level it, you're supposed to like overfill it, because once you bring it in, then they take that overage and they fill out more of those containers, right? And they only pay you the couple bucks or something like that per each container that you fill. So it was a very, very hard job. It was a very physical job, and I'm not the best physical person, but I just wanted work. And so that was my first job. I think on average I earned less than $20 a day. If I had a good day, maybe I actually had a friend before that used to help me sometimes. He would help me with like when he's done for the day, he would just come and help me for like the little bit at the last one that I'm trying to finish. So on a good day, I think I would earn actually like 20 bucks. In the few years later, like when I was 13, 14 and 15, again, I just tried to work at as many jobs as I humanly possibly can, or as much as the company would allow me to work for them, basically, whether they would hire me or not. So I worked from I think looking after students after school, like, you know, first graders. I also worked at serving food and being a cashier. So if you're from Montreal, you would know what TKing is because they're all over the place in downtown. I also worked at McDonald's for a short period. I worked at Burger King for the longest period, and in fact they liked me so much they wanted me to do closing, and that was very, very difficult because it was a huge restaurant. It was near in my neighborhood. It was a huge restaurant right at the beginning of the highway, so there's lots of people coming in even very, very late at night. And because I was doing closing, I have to like not only do the cashier part, and sometimes I would also be preparing food in the bag, and obviously when you're working in the front, you also have to wash the toilets and mop the floors. It was just very, very demanding physically and even mentally sometimes, but looking back, you know, it really gives you perspective. And also having had experience at such a young age, it really does let you appreciate, or makes you appreciate, the things in life, and solidifies even further your goals of why you want to succeed and why you want to be, you know, doing well in school and all that stuff, so that you can have the life that you want, right? When I turned 16, that was when I started getting a more serious job, like a more adult job actually. I did a bunch of volunteering at my high school. In my last 2 years of high school, there was this local credit union called Caisse Populaire des Jardins. So if you're from the Montreal area, you would know, or Quebec, you would know. One of the branch in our neighborhood decided to start a project at our high school, and it allowed students to learn how to save money and open accounts and all that stuff. But, you know, also for that little project within the school, they also hired a bunch of, not hired actually, we were just doing it for volunteering. We didn't get paid. Basically we would get hired to just, you know, be the cashier and do the deposits and withdrawals, that type of thing. Kind of like a mini bank within the school. I was one of those volunteers that was really serious about it, and I didn't really care about giving time because I was, you know, using it as a learning experience. And so I guess I got pretty good at it. And also when at the end of that year they decided to hire a couple students to train them as real cashiers and work at the real branch over the summer. So of all the people that they interviewed, all the students that they interviewed, including the ones that were in grade secondaire 4, so grade secondary 4 and secondary 5. I was in secondary 4 at the time, so I was in the younger crowd. They hired 2 students. One of them was me, and then the other one was the director of that little project, which also happens to be my classmate. So we're both in secondary 4, and that was amazing because I got actual real training at the bank, and I started working at the bank like a real teller throughout the summer. And ever since then, I've been working for that same bank every summer. And not only that, I also started working part-time at another branch in Chinatown on the weekends, because they were one of the branches that were also open on the weekends. When I was in university, I was in a co-op program, so I also had internships that were relevant to my program. So I guess you can, you know, add all those up to my CV, I suppose, in terms of work experience. After I graduated from university, of course, I worked in the field, and I had jobs from Q&A, meaning quality assurance of software, as well as programming. So at one point I was titled engineer, so it's just a title, just doing programming basically and fixing bugs and things like that, software wise. I also did project management work. So just to give you an idea, these are all the things that I did post-graduation. At the end of the day, the environment also counts. So in terms of career advice, I feel like sometimes you just have to have had enough experience in order to know when to move on or what to do. Even when a certain field of jobs is not exactly what you're looking for, it gives you experience. Obviously, all those other jobs that I had before, I didn't like them. They were hard jobs, but it gives you experience. It makes you appreciate hard work. It makes you appreciate the value of money. It gives you perspective. I don't have the answer for you in terms of career advice, because even I'm trying to figure out what I can do to be truly feeling fulfilled and to truly feel like, you know, feel like I have found the job or the thing that I would like to do in my career. I'm not one of those people who knew from a very young age what career path I wanted to do. I knew I wanted a certain lifestyle. I just didn't know exactly what were my clear strengths. Some people are really clear even when they're young. They want to become a doctor, they want to become a lawyer, but not everybody is like that. A lot of people just don't know, and a lot of people just do things and have jobs to make ends meet, and that's fine too, as long as within that job environment it is pleasant for you and you're still growing. I think that's the key. You're still growing and you're still trying to figure yourself out. So I guess that's the most important thing, or most important advice I can sort of, not even advice, but thing I can tell you, is that you can still figure out over time, and that just take it day by day. When you're ready and you've learned enough of what you've been learning at that job, then you can maybe start moving on or find something that is more related to what you're passionate about. In terms of how to deal with difficult people in your work, whether a boss or a coworker, or how to stop bullying at work, we all have our unpleasant experience with certain people and whatnot. I guess in general I haven't had like the most terrible experience, so I'm grateful for that. There are some that are not so good, especially when I was younger and doing those like jobs that nobody wants to do. But other than that, I think because you cannot control what others do, you should, or you could, control what you do and feel and let people do. I think a lot of it, especially with bullying, has to do with whether you allow it or not. Of course, it's not 100%, and it's unfair to say it that way because you're not the initiator, right? You didn't initiate the bullying. But what I'm trying to say is, they bully you once and it hurt you and everything, and you probably let it go or whatever. They bully you another time, then that's when you should take action, whether it's leaving or reporting that person or just not letting that get to you. I mean, I know it's really hard. It's not really always possible to do. Even within this whole internet thing, there's bullying happening every single day. So I know it's not actually possible to not let it affect you. But what I'm trying to say is that if that does happen, you block that person out, or you block that comment, or you relieve yourself of that environment, you know, or you report that person. In a sense, it is up to you as well. It is also whether you allow it to continue happening, because that's the only part you can control. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not your fault, obviously. That's not what I'm saying, but what you can control is yourself, and whether your own actions, and whether you keep letting things happen. So it's not real advice in a sense, but it's just maybe something to reflect on, and to maybe stop letting those kind of people and those kind of things happen to you in the workplace. Yeah, there's many ways, but of course it's situational. Every situation's different. Every person deals with it differently. Use your own way. Lastly, when to quit a job. Honestly, I think you'll feel it. If you keep going to that same job every day and you're dreading it, that's when you should quit it. I think that's definitely a huge sign that you should be quitting the job. I know there's all these fears about, you know, maybe not being able to provide for yourself and pay for things and stuff like that. There's obviously all these fears, But when it affects your mentality and your mental health, that's when I say it is time to start looking really quickly and start moving on. Obviously, we shouldn't be impulsive either, because I think there are people who jump from job to job because they think that they're not happy in it and all that. That could happen too, but I think it's when you truly dread the environment and the people in it, that or even the job, you're just getting bored. When you've had enough of that dreading, you know it's time. The only exception is if you're not really doing a great job and all those people are bullying you because you haven't been doing a great job, then I guess you have some improvements to do also. But I don't know what the case is. So thank you everyone for watching this video. I know that this Q&A is a little bit different, especially with the last question. It's one of those questions that all I can really offer is just my personal experience and just what I went through and what I would do. I guess I'm the type of person who is sensitive, but at the same time, if I get hurt over and over, I don't let that happen a second or third time. Basically, I'm that kind of person where I'm not gonna take anyone's BS if that makes sense. And that can happen not only in career-wise, but also in personal life and any areas of life, honestly, even with your personal friends, honestly. Sometimes you have to teach the people around you how to behave or how to treat you. If you let them treat you badly over and over, then they think that it's okay, right? So yeah, I hope that was helpful, and thank you so much for watching. I hope that it was enjoyable. If you're brand new to my channel, I would love to have you back, so please do subscribe and don't forget to like and comment down below. If you have any more feedback, ideas, helpful insights, you're welcome to put that down below, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye.